Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Henry Memorial Center in Washington, Pennsylvania. Today on the PAC Sports Network, women's basketball, the 6th-ranked team of the nation, the Thomas More Saints, visit the W&J Presidents. I'm Randy Gore along with Justin Piles. Thomas More undefeated, 10-0 overall, 3-0 in conference play. W&J 7-3. They are 2-1 within league play, and this is a rematch of last year's PAC Women's Championship game, and certainly the Presidents would love to earn a measure of revenge today. The Thomas More Saints lead the all-time series at 13-8, and even more than that, the Saints have won 8 in a row, and 3 straight right here at the Henry Memorial Center, so on their home turf. The Presidents would love to come away with what would be against a nationally ranked team, an upset today.
A huge upset today. Thomas More coming in here with bigger aspirations than just the conference title that they've won coming into this season. They're looking for national, not just recognition, but going places in the national tournament. I mean, we've heard people around the conference say that this is Elite 8, Final 4 type of team. It's still January, it's still early. Only played a little less than half the season, but they definitely have big dreams, and this is a big game for Thomas More with that regard, just because this is the first time that they will be tested in the PAC, and of course it's a road game. You never know what happens on the road.
The Presidents last year, if you recall, at Thomas More took the Saints down to the wire. The Saints did hold on for the win, of course, as they have that head-to-head winning streak. And in the championship game, things not quite as close, as the Saints ended up rolling to the win in the title game. 72-59 was the final. But W&J, they have posted 20 wins or more in 9 of the last 11 seasons. So while they haven't been able to win the conference title in a string as Thomas More has, they've won 7 straight. The Presidents have had some very successful seasons in their own right over the last handful of years. Actually, beyond that, as we said, 9 of the last 11 years, the Presidents have 20 or more victories. Last season, the Presidents, after falling to Thomas More in the championship game, beat Penn State Barrett in the ECACs before losing in the semifinals of the ECACs. And W&J, the only real blemish or hiccup within the last 11 years, they had rare back-to-back losing seasons in 2010, 2011, and 2011 and 2012. But the Presidents have been regulars in the postseason, and hoping if they could come up with a win today against the nationally ranked Thomas More team, it would certainly be a big boost, not only to their status, whether it be in the league or in the nation, but also a huge confidence builder. As a win earlier this season for W&J against Carnegie Mellon, another very good Division III team, that has certainly helped them assert themselves as far as confidence goes, that they can take that up another notch if they are able to pull off the upset today. But Thomas More is certainly a handful.
Right. Well, this is definitely a talented team, W&J. Their strength is in their forwards. Becca Belhigh, Chelsea Apke, Valerie Dunlap, that trifecta working down low. That's where they'll have a majority of their offense. The issue or the dilemma for them is going to be how their guards attack or deal with the pressure that Thomas More will bring them, because they'll bring it. They'll have half-court pressure. They'll have full-court pressure. They just have a knack for getting the basketball, having tons of steals and points in transition. So if you're W&J, you need your guards to play exceptionally well today, not just distributing the basketball in the half-court set, but just getting the basketball to get it in that half-court set, because without that, you're not going to be able to get it to your scores down low.
If you follow Division III basketball, you've probably heard quite a bit about Sydney Moss, the transfer to Thomas More this season, and she is the conference's leading scorer and was an all-SEC freshman player last year at Florida, and also a postseason WNIT all-tournament team member. And Sydney Moss just introduced here moments ago, along with the remaining starting 5 for the Thomas More Saints. We'll give you the starters in a moment, but Moss is the headliner, and certainly many folks have heard about her, but this is one of the deepest Thomas More teams that they have had in recent years.
Yeah, this was a great team without her, and anytime you can pick up a talent like Sydney Moss, it just changes the entire dynamic of really the conference. She's the conference leader in scoring, but she makes everybody around her better. And we've seen players like Jenny Burgoyne and Devin Beasley, and their games are just elevated that much more with the presence of Moss.
Well, let's give you the starters first for the visiting Saints under third-year head coach Jeff Hands. Number 4, 5'8" senior Katie Kitchen. Number 14, 5'7" senior Devin Beasley. Number 24, 5'5" junior Sydney Wainscott. Number 25, 5'10" junior Jenny Burgoyne. And number 40, 5'10" sophomore Sydney Moss. Again, for the Saints, Kitchen, Beasley, Wainscott, Burgoyne, and Moss. For the W&J Presidents under ninth-year head coach Gina DeRubo, they will send out as their starters number 3, 5'7" senior Kara Seaman. Number 5, 5'9" sophomore Becca Belhai. Number 21, 5'10" senior Chelsea Apke. Number 24, 5'3" junior Alexa Del Greco. And number 42, 6'3" junior Valerie Dunlap. Again, for the Presidents, it's Seaman, Belhai, Apke, Del Greco, and Dunlap. And also for our triple three-point shooters of the game, Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living, located in Washington, Pennsylvania. Our three-point shooters of the game for Thomas More, Sydney Wainscott, 18 of 36, a conference-leading 50% success rate from beyond the arc. And for the W&J Presidents, Alexa Del Greco, our three-point shooter, 15 of 38, hitting at a 31% clip. So then there again, your triple three-point shooters for Thomas More, Sydney Wainscott, and for W&J, Alexa Del Greco. Just about ready for the opening tip of this one. Some things to keep your eye on for the Thomas More Saints. Devin Beasley has 360 career assists. It is third on the Thomas More all-time list. She needs just 4 assists today to surpass Allison Long for second place. Long is a high school teammate of Beasley and also an assistant coach now for the Thomas More Saints. Or yeah, was a high school teammate of Beasley's, of course, and a former teammate at Thomas More as well. And Long now an assistant coach at Thomas More. So those two go back a long ways, and if Beasley is able to achieve that today, Allison Long, I'm sure, will be one of the first to congratulate her in doing so. But ball about to be put in the air, and it is won by the Thomas More Saints and Sydney Moss. Beasley to Burgoyne, and there's an assist right off the bat. Burgoyne with the lay-in. It's 2-0 Thomas More.
Makes so much of the Thomas More transition game there where they didn't need a steal. It was just off the opening tip right down the court, an easy basket.
Alexa Del Greco running the point for the Presidents. Belhai to Kara Seaman. Swing it around left wing, head fake Del Greco. Burgoyne brings out the defense. Belhai left corner. Seaman for 3. Knocks it down. Presidents with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, they're going to have the outside game going and the inside game going. Great ball movement there on the initial possession by the Presidents to swing it around to Seaman, who had a wide open look. Kitchen a little late getting there to get a hand in her face.
Good defense by the Presidents, forces the turnover. Ahead to Kara Seaman. Seaman has Dunlap, trying to show some range there. Apke with the rebound. Put back won't go. Dunlap tips the rebound to Apke, the bucket and the foul. And I'll tell you what, early on, you can hear the volume, the enthusiasm here at the Henry Memorial Center for the homestanding Presidents. It's 5-2.
Well, Apke and Dunlap are monsters down low. Apke leads the conference in rebound, and they did good work there to second, third, fourth chance to get that bucket to go.
Well, aside from that quick bucket by Thomas More to open the game today, this is the start you'd like to see for the Presidents. From their perspective, of course, for Thomas More. Well, they know they're, as you talked about in the opening broadcast, the team that has won the conference 7 years in a row, they have a target on their back, and they know that. Jump shot, Katie Kitchen, and it's a 1-point lead now for W&J. Katie Kitchen, who averages 9 points per game. Alexa Del Greco in the forecourt. Angles to the right, nice dish. Dunlap off the window, 7-4 Presidents. Jenny Burgoyne to Devin Beasley as Sydney Moss. Moss for 3. Off the backboard, rebound tip to Chelsea Apke. Seaman looking for Dunlap. Too tall for Dunlap, and if it's too tall for Dunlap, then it's way too tall. She stands at 6'3".
Then it's too tall. W&J finding great success down low so far, and right idea there. Maybe a little too much adrenaline, just airmailed that pass.
Beasley walks it up the floor. Already with 1 assist today. We'll try our best to keep a running tally on her assist situation. See If and or when she may surpass Allison Long for second place on the all-time list. There's Beasley from the right wing. She'll take a three-pointer. Too strong on the shot. Dunlap with the rebound. Well, temporarily with the rebound. There's Katie Kitchen with some hustle. Tie up, jump ball arrow with W&J.
Thomas More looking out of sorts so far here. Saw Beasley just airmail that three-pointer. Sydney Moss had one that was well off the mark. Outside their game right now.
Kara Seaman, the senior vocal leader of this group, has Dunlap. Jump shot. Bounces around the rim. Moss with the rebound. 3-point lead for W&J. Over 2 minutes into this ball game. Devin Beasley from the left of the elbow finds Moss. In the paint. Falls down to the floor. Able to angle the ball toward a teammate, Katie Kitchen. And now the Saints will reset. Sydney Moss will try it again. The leader drains it. 1-point lead for W&J.
It's so big and so quick off the dribble. W&J was shadowing her with Dunlap. I don't know if that's a matchup you want if you're the Presidents.
Missed by the Presidents. Transition game. Beasley ahead to Kitchen. Lay in. Another assist for Beasley. Kitchen with the deuce. 8-7. Thomas More.
The made basket allows Thomas More to set up their trap. This one looks like a three-quarter court trap, and there's a steal by Burgoyne.
Ahead to Moss, lay in, and now Thomas More in a flurry is not only taken the lead, but upped it to a 3-point advantage in a quick timeout called by W&J's head coach Gina DeRubo. We'll pause for break as well on the PAC Sports Network.
Bankruptcy myths busted.
Bankruptcy is just another word for failure. It's for deadbeats.
The typical person filing for bankruptcy is 38, middle class, and educated. Over 90% of bankruptcies are traceable to job loss, illness, or divorce, factors largely out of anyone's control.
Myth busted. Bankruptcy myths busted. Brought to you by Foster Law Offices. Call today to schedule a free consultation and sleep better tonight.
Off the W&J timeout, Thomas More starts with the press. And the Presidents still in the backcourt. And now we'll push it into the forecourt with point guard Kara Seaman. Looking down low, Becca Bell high. Guarded tightly by Burgoyne, forces the miss, and then gets the rebound, does Burgoyne, having a bust-out year. Ahead to Sydney Moss. Moss juggles the ball, but is fouled by Seaman. That'll be the first team foul on the Presidents today. 10-7 Thomas More, Burgoyne. 5'10 junior, averaging 15 points per game. Also 5.9 rebounds per game. Sydney Wainscott. Here's our Foster Law Office's player of the game out at Grove City when those two teams hooked up. Wainscott, the top three-point shooter in the conference, trying to cross over on Apke, and Apke with a bump and foul.
Yeah, a lot of conference leaders in this game. Moss, scoring leader. Apke and Bell High close behind her. Chelsea Apke, the rebounding leader. Burgoyne leading in field goal percentage. Devin Beasley leading the conference in assists.
Katie Kitchen trying to feed Burgoyne, gets it to her, but not able to set things up. It's Wainscott in some trouble. Releases a pass. Burgoyne looking for Beasley. Ball tipped by Seaman, and Beasley will recover in the backcourt. The senior point guard directs traffic as Moss, with some space provided by Becca Bell High, with a close eye on her. And a leader off the window, driving in on the right side of the lane. Moss makes it 12-7. Sydney Moss, as you talked about, Justin, the conference leader in scoring with 25 points per game, also leads the Saints with 30 steals, 6 blocks, and 9 rebounds per game. You name it, she does it.
Yeah, she's a matchup nightmare. She can play inside, outside. She can shoot the three. She can score off the dribble. Only not one person can guard her. It's got to be a collective effort.
Wainscott, top of the key, right side Moss. Past the Kitchen. Kitchen working on Apke. Three-pointer for Moss, rattles it home. 15-7, Thomas More.
Moss already with 9 of those 15, too. A big part of the offense, much bigger part than when we saw her at Grove City.
Del Greco in some trouble, caught in a double team. Pass, though, to a wide open Becca Bell High. 15-9, and that's something W&J did well early, finding the open player down low. You mentioned it during the break, but Thomas Moore's surge came where W&J was trying to run the floor with Thomas More, and you can't get caught up in the Saints game.
Yeah, you can't do that. Kind of like running with the Bethany men's team. They like to play that run up and down the floor kind of game, and if you're not equipped to it, they're going to win out on that more times than not.
Burgoyne, beautiful move off the pass in the paint, 17-9. Burgoyne with a couple of field goals. Del Greco now with a 2-on-1 pull-up jump shot, knocks it down. 6-point advantage for Thomas More. Now, Alexa Del Greco, described by teammate Kara Seaman as a little ball of fire out there on the floor, and comes up with a jump shot, and very accurate from just about everywhere on the floor. Dropping that into the cylinder. Katie Kitchen, 19-11 Saints. Kitchen with 6 points. As she will check out, as entering is Stephanie Krusling, 5'5" junior for Thomas More. Also Devin Beasley exits along with Jenny Burgoyne. Mariah Corey enters, and Olivia Huber, 5'9" sophomore. And for Coach Jeff Hands, how wonderful it must be is dribbling out of bounds with the basketball, W&J. And they were escorted basically out of bounds by the Saints defense. But what a pleasure it must be to have the depth that the Saints possess. You could bring the players out of the game that he just has and enter Corey, Krusling, and Huber and not miss a beat. Sydney Moss will take the three over Bell High, misses, rebound. Oh, taking a hard blow there down to the floor. Erin Lavery, as she bounces back up. Okay, the 5'7" junior from Oakland Catholic. Foul on Mariah Corey, as she works hard on the boards, does Mariah Corey. And there's a steal by Sydney Moss, unable to break the press. Moss to Huber. Jump shot spins out, rebound Lavery. Chased around by Huber. Press still on by the Saints. They even press after a miss. And now do the Presidents have Del Greco open for three. Skims off the rim, rebound Krusling. 8-point advantage, Thomas More. Krusling will pull up and hand it off to Wayne Scott. Back to Krusling, open for the three-pointer. Rattles out, Moss with the tip in. Levitating from point blank range near the cylinder. And it's a 10-point lead for Thomas More. And that's what the Saints can do. Before you know it, the lead can go from 1 point to 10 in a matter of moments. Loose ball to Thomas More in the battle for it. Del Greco will check out. Alexa Berzis enters for W&J. Berzis, who can be one of the top outside shooters for the Presidents as well. She struggled a little bit from the outside to begin this year, but certainly has the capabilities. Moss looking for Corey inside. Corey, good positioning. Can't finish. Huber with the offensive rebound. Out to Krusling. Saints reset. Krusling. Excuse me, make that Wayne Scott rather, driving the right side of the lane with a miss. Apke collects the board, but dribbles into a tie-up situation. Arrow with the Presidents. Beasley will re-enter for Wayne Scott. Val Dunlap checks in for Chelsea Apke as Becca Bell-High comes over to the scores table for the inbounds pass to send it in, and does so to Kara Seaman. Approaching the 12-minute mark of the first half. Thomas More up by 10, the 6th-ranked team of the nation. Berzis with a miss. Beasley angles to the right. Krusling, pass right side. Alexa Santa Maria hands it off to Beasley. Finds Huber wide open, top of the key for three. Short on the shot, rebound Bell-High. We talked about Jenny Burgoyne having a bust-out season. Becca Bell-High has had that for W&J Ball swatted out of bounds by Santa Maria. Bell High, the transition from the freshman to sophomore season. Talking with Coach Gina DeRubo, she has seen or observed that Bell High has just been more comfortable this year in her second year with the team.
And we saw a lot out of Valerie Dunlap too. Big jump from freshman year to sophomore year. Seems like, for lack of a better term, they just got it. Everything seemed to click and became a much bigger part of the team. We're seeing that now with Becca Bell High this year.
Lavery with a bucket moments ago, and now a steal by Kara Seaman for W&J. Lead is 8 for Thomas More. President's trying to trim that. Nearing the 11-minute mark. Bounce pass right wing, open. Lavery for 3, too strong on the shot. Val Dunlap, though, in position for the rebound. Finds Kara Seaman, spins free. Jump shot off the window, clips the iron, no good. Rebound Beasley as she'll run the floor. As Krusling to her left finds her. But Lavery steps up the defense. Krusling will slide right with her dribble past the Beasley. Beasley directing traffic for a screen. We'll pass it along, and now tic-tac-toe. Santa Maria has Huber for 3. You're assuming back out to the outside. Now it's Krusling for 3, no good. Rebound, Alexa Berzis.
You were on top of things. I thought she was going to shoot it too.
I was just anticipating. I got a little ahead of myself, I suppose.
She was open. She could have.
Val Dunlap off the high glass, 21-15. Lead is 6 for Thomas More.
I think we all thought it. It just didn't happen. Definitely an opportunity to shoot the basketball there.
Santa Maria just inside the perimeter to Krusling. Santa Maria, the sophomore. 3-point try, no good. Corey, though, with the rebound. Now it's Krusling. She'll back it up to try a 3. Back of the iron. Rebound tipped out by Beasley to Huber. Third chance now for Thomas More on this possession. Touch passing by the Saints. Huber, Beasley. Now it's Krusling looking for Corey. Tipped by Lavery. Lavery will tip another pass out of bounds off of Santa Maria. A rematch of last year's PAC championship game in women's basketball. Thomas More, winners of 7 conference titles in a row. W&J is the last conference team other than Thomas More to win a PAC championship. Berzis guarded by Burgoyne. As Del Greco dribbles left with Beasley guarding around a screen from Apke. Works it to Dunlap, top of the key. Back left to Berzis around a screen. Stepping up the D, Santa Maria. Pass forced by Berzis, tipped and stolen by Krusling, knocked down to the floor. Foul coming on Aaron Lavery. That is her first foul. Third team foul on the homestanding Presidents. 2 team fouls on the Saints to this point in the game.
The turnovers are starting to stack up a little bit for W&J. Now 7 in the game compared to just 3 by Thomas More, and that's that Saints pressure really getting to them.
16-footer for Beasley. No good. Tipped out on the rebound. Moss to Burgoyne. Now it's Moss over to Beasley. Finds Burgoyne. Cross court. Sydney Wainscott. Good crossover. Baseline. Wild drive, however, but draws the foul.
Bailed out by a foul. I think it was Val Dunlap with the block.
President's foul at number 42.
But yeah, Wainscott out of control going down the baseline. Just kind of threw up a shot, hoping for a whistle, and she got one.
Sydney Wainscott, 88% from the free throw line this season. Makes the first.
Number 24, Sydney Wainscott.
Wainscott, the team leader in three-pointers with 18, averages 10 points per game. And knocks down both free throws, the 5'5" junior. Wainscott, a transfer from Pikesville. And she was one of the players, when she transferred over to Thomas More, caught the eye of Sydney Moss. And as she was thinking about transferring, kind of got the wheels turning for Sydney Moss. And for those not familiar, Sydney transferred from D1 Florida to Thomas More this season. And part of her decision, wanted to be closer to her family in Kentucky, and also likes the smaller classroom at Thomas More, and compared to larger university in Florida. Low pass to Dunlap over Moss. Shot rattles out. Moss with the rebound. 23-15 our score, favoring the Saints. Ball tipped out of bounds. Taylor Cortazzo with the defense. Cortazzo out of Penn Trafford High School. Wide open Wayne Scott for three. The top three-point shooter in the conference makes the Presidents pay. 26-15, largest lead of the game for the Saints. Cortazzo has Dunlap. Back outside to Del Greco. Three-pointer from a straight-on look. Nothing but net for Del Greco with the answer. So our triple three-point shooters of the game coming up back-to-back for each squad. Back to an 8-point margin. Beasley fakes left, goes right to Kitchen. Bounce pass Burgoyne. Touch pass Moss cutting to the cylinder for the bucket. Sidney Moss with 13 points. And a tip by Burgoyne, steal by Wayne Scott. In transition, bounce pass to Burgoyne. Foul on the floor. Saints vehemently disagreeing. Coach Hands and the rest of his team up on their feet from the bench area. That was a quick decision by the official. She didn't waste any time. She immediately said on the floor, and that's where, in a sense, you're okay with that because there was no indecisiveness. It was, the decision was made on the floor, and so be it. Not to say whether it was one way or the other, but
yeah, you like the way the officials, even if even if you disagree with the call, at least they're assertive about it, and I think they're checking on the shot clock right now, maybe. But
so no bucket for Burgoyne. I don't believe we had word as to who the foul was on. At least I did not catch it. And lobbed in pass on the inbounds, and Sidney Moss drops it in. And the foul is now posted on the, nope, foul is not posted on the board as a motion Sidney Moss's bucket. Another steal by Thomas More. Moss bounce pass Wayne Scott for three, hits the three-pointer and draws the foul.
We saw that in the men's game. Drew Mumford from about the same spot on the court for Thomas More, knocking down a three and getting fouled.
The three-point field by number 24, Sidney Wayne Scott, is good. Wayne Scott fouled on the play.
Wayne Scott trying for the 4-point play.
Trying to clean up that foul call. I'm checking out live stats right now. They didn't even plug in a foul, so maybe there was no foul call. Maybe it was just an inadvertent whistle for some reason.
Which in that case would certainly draw the ire of Thomas More that much more. If it's a foul, it's one thing, but an inadvertent whistle would make you that much more upset, especially after a would-be made basket. Missed by Apke. Cortazzo with the rebound. Back out to Apke. Loses her footing. Moss dives for the loose ball, but gives it away temporarily to Belhigh. Belhigh gets to it. Dunlap with Moss chasing her down. Dunlap with the miss. Belhigh with the follow.
And a timeout by W&J. Full timeout.
First field goal for Belhigh. We'll take a break. 13-point lead for Thomas More. We'll come back on the PAC Sports Network.
3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA. When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timadproductions.com.
(33-20) our score from the Henry Memorial Center. Saints with the advantage. And Thomas More, with that pressure defense, has really worn down W&J.
Yeah, a combination of that and Sydney Moss has worn down W&J. She already has 15 points. We still have 6 minutes to go before halftime.
Averages 25 per game. Devin Beasley jogs into the forecourt at angles right. Bounce pass to Wayne Scott. Touch passing, Burgoyne to Moss. Shot won't drop, but she'll take 2 from the stripe.
I think they've ran that play before, just entry pass in the post to either Burgoyne or Moss. Touch pass to the other. Whether it's low, it's a touch pass high. If it's a high entry pass, touch pass low. Have opportunity for points.
Moss free throw, no good. Had an opportunity to sit down with Sydney Moss, and very modest ball player, and really doesn't like to talk about herself much at all. It's actually very difficult to try and pry comments from her talking about herself. Very excited to be a part of this Thomas More team. Knew the program, and again mentioned she wanted to be closer to her family, and has played against some of her now current teammates at Thomas More. Had played against Devin Beasley, had played against Katie Kitchen while in high school in Kentucky. Breaking the press, Chelsea Apke has Dunlap open. Dunlap misses. Apke with the follow. She can't connect, gets her own rebound. Ball stripped free by the Saints. Burgoyne. Long pass toward Moss, but airmailed out of bounds.
Out of bounds to W&J.
Becca Belhigh to Lavery as the Presidents trying to break this press. Pass ahead to Apke. Able to recover in the left corner. Seaman up top, dribbles right.
That's another thing the press does. Now just 10 seconds to shoot. W&J spent all that time getting the ball up the court.
There, a later by Valerie Dunlap. 6'3" product out of Latrobe for the hit. Makes it 34-22. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the first half. Beasley finds Moss, 15-footer, back of the iron. Rebound Dunlap. And caught between 2 players is fouled. 6 team fouls on W&J, 3 team fouls on the Saints. And that just the first on Sydney Wainscott. Kara Seaman looks toward Dunlap, able to get that pass through Burgoyne. Apke from the left corner looking to Dunlap. In the paint, right-handed hook, won't go. Rebound Beasley. Beasley, long pass to Kitchen. Cross court Moss. Off the window over Becca Belhigh. Sydney Moss, so fluid, 18 points.
Our teammates too. You have to love a possession where the ball never touches the ground. Beasley, Kitchen, without really taking a dribble, pass to Moss, and then just one dribble to get a little bit closer and then up off the glass. But great job in transition. That's textbook by the Saints to get it up and down the court.
Seaman around a screen, drives baseline, and is fouled on Sydney Moss.
Saints foul on number 40, Sydney Moss, her first, team 4.
Aaron Lavery to administer the inbounds pass. Baseline underneath the Saints basket. Gets it into Apke. Feeds Seaman right at the elbow. Back to Apke, guarded by Moss. Chelsea Apke, Division I transfer as well out of Presbyterian to W&J a couple of years ago. Did miss 1 full season due to a knee injury. Sydney Moss to Krusling. Burgoyne has Wainscott. Under 4 to play in the first half. Sydney Moss as Katie Kitchen wide open for three. Katie Kitchen with the swish. She has 9. She has matched her average of 9 points per game already in the first half. Seaman to Lavery. Dribbles in Apke. Floats a pass toward Dunlap over her head. Now the Presidents opened up an early lead, very early, 7-4. And after the Saints took an 8-7 lead, the Saints have continued to balloon that advantage as the half has moved along. Wayne Scott works it to Krusling. Swing it around to Kitchen right side. Back to Krusling for three. She knocks that one down, and the Saints hitting from the outside. Running on all cylinders, the 6th-ranked Thomas More Saints. Alexa Brzezis, chased from behind, is fouled. Krusling charged with her first foul. Glad you can be with us today on the PAC Sports Network. PACstream.net. You can check out some of our various pages. We have our PAC blog. You can find via our homepage. Also our Player of the Game page. Foster Law Office's Player of the Game page. Brzezis hitting on that second makes it a 42-24 game. You can follow us online on Facebook. Also on Twitter at PAC Sports. Justin Powell's tweeting throughout the day today, and just about every day.
Team 7 at the line shooting 2 for the Saints. Number 33,
Mariah Corey at the line off the backboard on the first try.
Couple scores from earlier today in women's action. Both 1 p.m. starts. Teal defeating Bethany by 3, 76-73. And Teal was down a lot in that game. Came back to win a home game against the Bison. And also St. Vincent 84-67 winners over Grove City. This game with being a 3 p.m. start going on right now when other women's games have already concluded.
$19-point lead for Thomas More. Under 2.5 remaining in half number 1. Brzezis into the forecourt as Kara Seaman guarded by Wayne Scott. Seaman will knife in. Shot drops plus the foul.
Tough bucket for Seaman. Got the friendly home rim roll there.
Trying to take it to Thomas More. Kara Seaman, an 85% free throw shooter. Player you want at the line if you're the Presidents. Team leader in steals with 30. As the point guard, team leader in assists with 45. Averages 8 points per game. She has 5 today. Free throw rattles out. Rebound, Alexa Santamaria. Moss open for the three-pointer. And Santamaria with the board. As Alexa Brzezis trying to fight Santamaria off.
Santamaria skying for that rebound. It actually looked like Brzezis may have undercut her a little bit.
First foul on Brzezis. 8th team foul on the Presidents, so Santamaria for a 1-and-1. 6 of 15 at the line this year. Santamaria from Cincinnati, Ohio. Sophomore, 5'11" ball player, makes the first free throw out of Mount Notre Dame High School.
Two teams that are in the same position as Thomas More's women's team, but on the men's side, St. Vincent and Bethany both winning. St. Vincent men up 6 on Grove City, 2016. Bethany men up 13 at halftime on Teal. So both those teams undefeated like the Thomas More women's team. sitting on top of their respective divisions, I guess you could call them, men's and women's, in the PAC.
Seaman has Berzis. Berzis driving right side of the lane is hampered and fouled. Now the Presidents doing a nice job of getting to the line now over the last few minutes. Santa Maria with the foul, her first. Hits the first free throw, does Berzis. Alexa Berzis from Quaker Valley High School, 5'7" senior. Now it's Thomas More. Devin Beasley trying to work her way right off a screen from Santa Maria. Passes left to Moss. Under a minute and a half. Moss over Del Greco. First shot won't go. But eventually, Sydney Moss converts, 47-27.
She's got 20 now in the game. I was impressed with her before when we saw her at Grove City, but she didn't really do a whole lot in terms of being the first focus or running the game plan through her. Seemingly every possession here against W&J, she has the ball in her hand. She's making plays. If she's not scoring, she's passing off to a teammate. We've seen a couple of nice passes down low between her and Burgoyne. She's definitely the focal point here this afternoon, and it's paying off. It's been fantastic for Thomas More, enjoying this big lead here on the road.
Berzis back at the line. First free throw connects. Second one also true. Makes it an 18-point game with 1 minute to go in the first half. Beasley now harassed by the W&J defense, but finds Burgoyne for the lay-in. And that's at least unofficially 3 assists for Devin Beasley. And a giveaway by W&J.
Yeah, we have Beasley for 5 assists on live stats.
All right, well, those are official, so she has officially surpassed Allison Long. And she is now second on the all-time assist list at Thomas More. Ball out of bounds off of Thomas More. Back to W&J with 33 to go in the first half. And if you're wondering what the all-time mark is, it's 430 assists at Thomas More, held by Shannon Galbraith. So Beasley still, it's a reachable mark, but still has a ways to go.
That's a couple weeks for her. 70 assists away when she started today.
Exactly. Berzis looking for Apke, tipped out of bounds by Burgoyne, 18 seconds to go. 16 on the shot clock. Bell High has Seaman to the right wing, dribbles into the lane, bounce pass stolen by Burgoyne. Touch passing, and Sydney Moss with the finger roll plus the foul. There's another one of those trips up the floor with the ball not even touching the floor. And that's about as efficient as you could possibly get. 51-29 Thomas More with 7 seconds to play in the half. And the three-point play converted. Sydney Moss with 23. Here comes W&J. Seaman for the lay-in. No good. Right side of the rim. Buzzer sounds. Impressive first half for the 6th-ranked Thomas More Saints. They lead it here at W&J, 52-29. We'll take a break on the PAC Sports Network.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Maiden Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
Welcome back to the Henry Memorial Center. 52-29, Thomas More after one half of play over the W&J Presidents. Presidents held a 7-4 lead early on in this one. Thomas More grabbed an 8-7 advantage and have run away with things in the first half. Obviously, you still have a whole other half to play, but Thomas More in control as we are at intermission.
W&J in those first few moments found good success down low. Saw a couple baskets by Chelsea Apke, one by Valerie Dunlap. It looked like they had a good game plan going. Then Thomas More finally found their offensive rhythm, able to set up their press, and things kind of went awry from there. W&J turnovers were a big issue in the first half. 14 turnovers for them, and a lot of those resulted in steals and transition baskets going the other way for Thomas More.
So as we work our way in halftime, as we do for you, our halftime feature today focusing on the W&J women's basketball program. And at the half right now, Thomas More with a healthy 52-29 lead. But as we go to our halftime feature, again today focusing on the W&J women's basketball team. We'll be back in a bit on the PAC Sports Network.
Having reached the postseason 7 of the last 9 years, Coach Gina DeRubo and the W&J Presidents are taking aim for a return trip to the playoffs. Last winter, the Presidents ascended to the PAC Championship game and the ECAC semifinals. With the extended playoff run, W&J attained big game experience.
Every game's a big game, but we didn't have that experience. It's a lot different playing for the PAC Championship than just playing a regular season game. So I think we know how to handle ourselves in those big games now.
With 4 of 5 starters returning from the President's 21-win campaign, there's a new deal of optimism surrounding this year's team. Of the returnees are seniors Kara Seaman and Chelsea Apke. Seaman is the point guard and unquestioned vocal leader of the group, a player the others turn to when times get tough.
She's the perfect leader, and that's why she's been our captain the past 2 years. She's good at telling us what we need to do, but also doing it in a positive way. She's just very outspoken, and she handles the ball well. She's been at the top of the assist chart for all the years she's played, so she's very unselfish, but now I think she's learning to take more shots this year, and we need her to because she has a good shot.
You know what, Kara is just such a great leader. She just has a presence about her. She has such a calming effect on our team. You know, she makes mistakes like every other player on the floor, but she just has the presence about her. The kids look to her so much, and she's a good decision maker, and she is such a calming presence with our team, you know, for whatever reason, that her leadership has just been fantastic. It has been for the last couple years, but this year, you know, she's doing a really great job of running the show for us.
An all-PAC first-team selection, Chelsea Apke is a versatile athlete who lets her play do the talking.
She's one of the best players I've played with. She just knows the game really well. I mean, she doesn't do anything flashy. She doesn't care if she gets the credit. She just goes out there and she loves playing. So she can take over a game for sure. So it's a lot of fun to have someone on your team to play with like that.
I mean, Chelsea, in all honesty, we always joke around. She could play anywhere on the floor, and I don't think that there's very many people that could match up with her. So she's a good asset for us to have, and she's just a lot of fun to play with, a lot of fun to watch sometimes.
After transferring from Division I Presbyterian, Apke led the PAC a year ago with 91 offensive rebounds and has averaged a double-double per game this season. Now in her second year with the Presidents, Coach DeRubo has challenged Apke to become more assertive.
Well, last year being her first season, we had that conversation about how we had asked her to play a role that she wasn't really comfortable with, being that dominant offensive player, the go-to player that every team needs to have. And it wasn't something she embraced immediately, that she felt really comfortable with. And coming back this year, she knew what the expectation was. So she just seems to have accepted that role and wants that role. And she knows, I think she's just kind of grown into that role where she knows if there's a shot to be taken, make it or miss it. I think she's much more comfortable taking that shot, make or miss. But she's played fantastic and steady for us so far this year. She's put up some pretty impressive numbers.
Making a giant leap from her freshman to sophomore seasons, 6'3" Latrobe product Val Dunlap developed into one of the best post players in the conference last year. Approaching her junior year, Dunlap continued her rigorous off-season workouts in the gym and weight room this summer, adding a jump shot to her game.
I'd like to be able to play a little more outside. Obviously, my strength lies on the inside, and I'll always play on the inside, but I don't want to be one of the post players that, just stays in the key. I'd like to be a little more versatile, so I worked a lot on my shot on the off season.
Well, we had that conversation. She made so many strides last year. She came in at the end of the year and was worried, Coach, I'm going to work hard this summer, but I'm nervous I won't make as much progress. And I said, well, that's going to be difficult. Now everyone knows who you are. People are going to focus on you and double team you. So let's add some different things to your game. Let's add, more of a perimeter shot. Let's see if you can shoot the three, to spread out the defense. So she spent the summer really working on those things and trying to add some different pieces, to her game. I said, I don't expect you to go from 15 points to 30. That might be a bit much, but just by adding some different pieces. And you're going to be the focus of a lot of people's defense. You just need to be strong and be steady and get other people points as well.
A dominating presence down low, Dunlap set the W&J single-season block record last season with 83 and corralled a team-high 283 rebounds. For her teammates, it's a delight to have Dunlap on the low blocks.
As a point guard, it's fun to pass to anyone that's 6 feet tall, but she brings a lot with just her height, and she works really hard. So I think teams this year are definitely looking out for her because they know they have to respect her, but she can really change a game when she's on.
It's really fun to play with her. I always enjoy playing with her. She's a really good post. She's a lot taller than most of the girls, so she can just dominate underneath.
A player who has made major strides from her freshman to sophomore seasons is Fort Cherry product Becca Belhai. After getting her feet wet in collegiate basketball a year ago, Belhai has added grit and toughness to the Presidents, averaging 18 points per game and contributing all over the floor.
We recruited Becca to be the player she's having, the player she is right now. She, I think, struggled a little bit last year just making that transition to college basketball, coming from a small high school maybe, but she's having a great season, and Becca's just tough. She's the kid on our team that you don't want to mess with. She's a tough kid. She'll get in your face if she has to, but she's just seems so much more relaxed this year. She kind of knows the routine, which I think is important for her, and she's having a fantastic season. She's putting up big numbers, and we see her kind of taking over Chelsea's role when she graduates. But the difference from last year to this year, really on the floor and off the floor too, she just seems so much more relaxed and kind of at home, that everything is much easier for her right now. We hope that continues for sure.
A perfect complement to what the Presidents can do in the paint is the run and gun ability of the Alexas, guards Alexa Berzis and Alexa Del Greco.
They're both great shooters. Alexa Berzis, when she's hot, and no one can really stop her. And Greg coming back this year, she's just a little ball of fire. She's fast. She can play good defense and get up and down the court. So just adds a lot of versatility to our team.
With a well-experienced group of starters and players off the bench, and the wisdom of a coach who has won over 300 NCAA games, the outlook of the 2013-2014 Presidents is a bright one.
We just need to play consistent. We've put some great games together. That Carnegie Mellon game I go back to was just a great team game for us. We had so many people do so many things well, and I think if we play that way consistently, we're going to be really hard to beat. Thomas More, of course, is very, very good, and I haven't watched them on film yet. I've been avoiding it until it's game time. I haven't seen Sydney Moss play. So, it's one of those things we just need to get everybody clicking on the same page, and we have a lot of different offensive weapons, so we need to just play together and, be a little bit more consistent than what we've been. We've kind of been up and down a little bit, still able to win games, but we need to make sure that we're a little bit more consistent.
Bankruptcy myths busted.
Bankruptcy is just another word for failure. It's for deadbeats.
The typical person filing for bankruptcy is 38, middle class, and educated. Over 90% of bankruptcies are traceable to job loss, illness, or divorce, factors largely out of anyone's control.
Myth busted. Bankruptcy myths busted. Brought to you by Foster Law Offices. Call today to schedule a free consultation and sleep better tonight.
For 3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve Southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA. When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Main Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
Welcome back to the Henry Memorial Center. The Thomas More Saints leading the W&J Presidents 52-29 in a big first half for Thomas More. And turnovers, a big part of it. 14 forced turnovers against W&J, and Thomas More has converted those turnovers into points. Points off turnovers, 21-4 advantage for Thomas More, and that's really where it begins. Also add to that 56% shooting from the field for Thomas More, with only 38% for W&J, and that's really all you need to know about where this game is at.
Yeah, individually it's been Sydney Moss, 66% from the field, 10 of 15, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc, but she has 23 points, and we're just at halftime. It's been her show today, and she's really taken over this basketball game, especially late in the second half. We saw her, like we were talking about, at Grove City, and she wasn't really a focal point of the offense. She was getting her touches, but she wasn't dominating in the way that she's dominating possession of the basketball today. The ball's going through her every possession, and she's making plays, making her teammates better when she's not scoring by herself, when she's not getting to the hole. But yeah, it's been a collection of turnovers by W&J, points in transition by Thomas More. The Saints are just so good in transition, and they're really benefiting off of the steals and going the other direction here today.
Yeah, Sydney Moss, just a lot of fun to watch, and many of the folks probably know that Sydney Moss is the daughter of former NFL wide receiver Randy Moss, and Coach Hands, he was relaying a story from earlier in the season that one of the games, one of the officials came over to him. He said, "Oh, you have Randy Moss's daughter on your team?" And he said, "No, I don't. I have Sydney Moss." And she's her own player, and obviously a lot of folks know about her father, but she's her own player and really doing a great job in creating her own path, and she certainly has done that here with last season with Florida, now with Thomas More, as she continues to lead the way for Thomas More. And again, it's not just a one-person team, but Sydney Moss is the headliner of this Thomas More group.
And she can do everything. We saw her make a three. We saw her run the floor, play some defense, rebound. She really is the five-tool player that can do it all. And her scoring average this year, she's leading the conference by a wide margin, 25 points per game. She's only doing that in about 27 minutes of action. So she's doing it in just over a half of basketball. And that's incredible, just the talent that she is. It's great that we're able to watch her here today.
And one other thing that's a challenge for Thomas More, in more particular, their head coach, Jeff Hands, is that, with all the hype that surrounds this Thomas More team, especially this season, with the fact that they have done as well as they have to this point, and big aspirations. You talked about it to start, the aspirations for a team that's won 7 consecutive conference crowns as the second half now underway is obviously a deep run in the NCAA tournament and a national championship. But you can't get there until you win the conference first. And Coach Hands, really on a day-to-day basis, is a steal by Kara Seaman, begins the action here in half number 2. And Coach Hands on a day-to-day basis continues to remind his team that there are things to work on each and every day, and that you're a good team, but no one is a perfect team.
Right, and all these players and Coach Hands, none of them were here for all 7 conference titles. They've only been here for a couple years, so and in the last couple years hasn't worked out favorably in the NCAA tournament for the Saints. So they're a hungry team, not just to win the conference, get back in the tournament, but make a little more noise in the tournament than they have recently, and they have the pieces to do it. And they're still just running their offense at the beginning of the second half. Same kind of thing, not getting out of their rhythm at all.
As we were chatting, Alexa Del Greco with a three-pointer for W&J, and now a giveaway by Thomas More. So the Presidents down by 20, but starting the second half as they would like. A three-point hit by Del Greco, and now turnover by the Saints.
And it's a point that'll stick with any coach. Just Katie Kitchen a little careless with the basketball. Need to make a simple pass and just a little bit over her teammate's head. She's played a nice game so far, 9 points.
Seaman weaves her way left side of the lane. Bell high to Del Greco. Will dribble it back out, guarded by Beasley. Feeds Dunlap inside, and Burgoyne with good positioning forces that shot awry. Up ahead to Sydney Moss for the lay-in off the assist from Devin Beasley. Moss with 25. Lead at 22 points. Kara Seaman dribbles in. 3-on-2, has Apke, and is fouled from behind by Katie Kitchen.
The foul is on the Saints.
Katie Kitchen, spoke with her. Many folks might remember that last year she made her recovery from an ACL injury, actually her second ACL injury from her college career. And she had another year of eligibility left going into this school year, but was not planning on returning for her senior season. But then in the offseason, as Chelsea Apke hits from the line to make it 54-34. In the offseason, she was training for a half marathon, and as she was doing so, felt that her knees were really in the best condition in quite some time, and gave it a thought that, I can give it another year, I think. And Katie Kitchen decided that she talked to Coach Hands and said, I want to come back. And of course, he wasn't going to say no, as Jenny Burgoyne off the window makes it 56-34. And so Katie Kitchen feeling the best that she has in years, and you can tell.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch her. Really enjoyed watching her the last couple years, but just able to see her out on the court, and she enjoys playing basketball. And you don't only get so many seasons of college basketball, obviously, and to have one more opportunity, you don't want to pass that by if you can. And she definitely is taking advantage of it. And maybe the transfer of Moss maybe had something to do with that a little bit, knowing that she was going to have another good team. Some of her teammates, Devin Beasley returning, Burgoyne was back, knowing that she had a good team might have been a little bit of incentive as well. But anytime you can have an opportunity to play college basketball and play with a group of teammates that you've grown accustomed to, you're not going to turn that down for one more year.
Devin Beasley feeds Burgoyne. No good. The rebound balanced on the top of the head of Kara Seaman, but eventually corrals it. Pushes the floor. First shot spins out and then out of bounds off of Seaman, trying to go over the back on Sydney Wainscott. And I actually, out of curiosity, did ask Katie Kitchen that when you heard about the transfer of Sydney Moss, did that impact your decision at all? And she said not really. She said more or less it was the itch of wanting to come back and play another year, and it would have been hard to have allowed her senior year to go by and not have played feeling the way she did, feeling as good as she did, especially after trading for that half marathon. And here's Katie Kitchen for three, rattles out, rebound Chelsea Apke. 56-34, Thomas More in front. Apke bounce pass to Kara Seaman. Now Del Greco for three. And Del Greco with another hit from beyond the arc. She has 11, and that's her third triple of the day.
Yeah, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. She's been a good weapon from the outside for W&J. Just need more of those to fall down 20-21 now with that lay-in.
Jenny Burgoyne in double digits after that make, and she has come wide open time and time again now over the last couple of minutes underneath, and timeout called by W&J. This will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. It's 58-37, Thomas More with 16 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the second half. For W&J, with a 2-1 conference mark, 7-3 overall entering today's action. Their one conference loss to St. Vincent, and St. Vincent, another one of those teams that are vying for a conference crown this year, along with the Presidents and Thomas More. Well, of course, everyone in the conference is vying for a conference crown, but those are some of the top teams that you look at from this Presidents Athletic Conference, and St. Vincent pretty thoroughly defeating W&J out at Latrobe.
I get another crack at them. Every team plays everybody in the conference twice, 2 conference matchups between each team, so another opportunity on their home floor to meet the Bearcats.
Becca Belhigh from the right side to Val Dunlap. Del Greco for another three-pointer, rattles home another three-pointer.
She's got the hot hand, and threes are going to help chip into this lead.
Got to make up ground somehow, and three-pointers, as you said, with Del Greco owning the hot hand, find a way to get her the basketball around screens or whatever it takes. Burgoyne, who's also had a hot hand, fouled by Apke. Differences in styles, of course, between Burgoyne and Del Greco, but Burgoyne making hay. Talking with Coach Hands about the breakout year of Jenny Burgoyne. Of course, Sydney Moss a part of that, opening up the floor for Burgoyne, but also the fact that she's completely healthy this year. Remember, her freshman year dealt with a shoulder injury, and 100% this season, and it has shown. 1 of 2 on this trip to the line for Burgoyne. Has 11.
Closing in on double-double territory with 11 points, 7 rebounds. A couple more crashes into the glass for her.
Steal by Beasley, easy lay-in for Moss. Moss with 27.
What might be most amazing about her afternoon, she's done that on just 17 shots, only 5 misses for her.
Val Dunlap fouled on Devin Beasley, that whistle.
Number 14, Devin Beasley. Her
second foul to Beasley. Third team foul in the second half on the Saints, 1 on W&J. Siemens inbounds pass stolen by Sydney Wainscott as she sneaks underneath Alexa Del Greco. Beasley pushes it in transition to Kitchen, cross court toward Wainscott. Wants to go inside again to Burgoyne. Burgoyne with the fadeaway, drops home.
Jenny Burgoyne for 2.
Burgoyne had 6 in the first half. She already has 7 in the second half, and we're just 5 minutes in. Seaman works it right to Chelsea Apke. Dunlap looks to Seaman. Del Greco finds Bell High. Shot blocked by Moss. Gets the ball back, though. Bell High with the recovery, 63-42. Now some players for W&J who typically light up the scoreboard, they have been quiet. Becca Bell High, who averages 16 points per game, just 6 today with that make. Chelsea Apke has only 2 points. Burgoyne once again from the right side. Val Dunlap with 6, and all 6 of those in the first half. So some players for W&J who they typically rely on, they have been quieted today. Dunlap fouled by Burgoyne.
Thomas Moore foul on number 25, Jenny.
Number 2 on Burgoyne.
Her second, team 4.
Baseline inbounds pass. Before that can, either that can happen or a 5-second violation can happen. Kara Seaman calls a timeout. We'll take a quick break as well, as this is a full timeout for W&J. 65-42 Saints on the PAC Sports Network.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Maiden Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
(65-42) Thomas More over W&J, and I'd like to thank our sponsors for making our broadcast possible. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living, Foster Law Offices with various locations in the northwest of Pennsylvania, including Mercer in the Erie area, Sharps Furniture in Washington, Pennsylvania, Time Ad Productions, and also Sport Clips for our men's broadcasts. Glad to have them be a big part of what we do on the PAC Sports Network. Also our crew today, Justin Piles, my partner. I'm Randy Gore, Cat Guy, our producer. Nick Farrell, our cameraman today, bringing you all the action from W&J. The 6th-ranked Thomas More Saints in front. 3-point try by Apke, short. Rebound Burgoyne. Wayne Scott, long pass to Katie Kitchen. Cross court, left side to Beasley. Saints going left to right across your computer screen. The visitors in blue. There's a steal by Chelsea Apke. The Presidents in white going right to left. Apke stops near the free throw line, feeds Kara Seaman on the right wing. Inside look to Dunlap, trying to work inside on Moss. Instead kicks it out to Del Greco. Remember, Del Greco, the hot hand here in the second half. Nice pass inside to Dunlap. Ball rattles out and then back in for Dunlap, 65-44. Dunlap with her first field goal in the second half.
Yeah, W&J had a lot of success down low early on and then kind of went away from it. And it's one of the main reasons why their main scorers just aren't lighting up the score sheet.
Katie Kitchen with the make off the lane, and will shoot a free throw with the +1 foul.
Kitchen fouled on the play. Will go to the line to shoot one more.
Foul on Chelsea Apke. That's her third. Free throw good for Kitchen. And that's a dozen for Kitchen. She will check out. Pressure defense for Thomas More. Olivia Huber entering the game for the Saints. Chelsea Apke in the forecourt. Pass toward Dunlap. Tipped by Mariah Corey, but she is whistled for a foul.
Saints foul.
And Mariah Corey, a player who saw significant minutes. She's a 5'10 senior, saw significant minutes over recent years. And with the addition, the transfer of Sydney Moss, one of the regulars was going to have to sit, I don't want to say sit the bench, but would no longer be a starter. And someone was going to have to take that hit, and it was Mariah Corey, but has been a tremendous team player for Thomas More and accepting that. And does what she can when she's on the floor. And again, for Coach Hands, how nice it can be to have a player like Mariah Corey, who's certainly a starter's caliber type of player on any other Division III team, and you bring her off the bench. Right now it's Olivia Huber at the line. No good on the first try. Huber, 5'9" sophomore, member of the Thomas More PAC champions, the championship soccer team this past fall. It's on the second free throw, 1 of 2 on that trip to the line. Apke lobs a pass that's tipped out of bounds by Stephanie Krusling. (69-44) Thomas More with a healthy lead over W&J today. Presidents came out on fire to a Vocal Gymnasium for early 7-4 advantage, but Thomas More asserted themselves not long after that. Del Greco, nice feed for Aaron Lavery. Can't finish, however. Moss with the board. Huber goes left side to Wayne Scott. Krusling to Moss. Slides into the lane, kicks it left. Wayne Scott open for 3, knocks it down. Sydney Wayne Scott with yet another three-pointer, her third of the day.
Well, you see all those white jerseys just collapse on Moss as soon as she drove the lane. She could have kicked that pretty much wherever she wanted and found an open player. Benefits of having a player like that demands so much attention from the opposition.
And that play really epitomizes what Sydney Moss does for Thomas More. Draws that attention, and then you have a sharp-shooting player like Wayne Scott. You can't leave her that wide open, and she'll hit that more often than she won't. Nice hook shot there by Val Dunlap, 72-46. Dunlap in double digits with 10. Moss to Corey. Bodies collapse on her. Corey unable to connect. Huber brings out the defense on Del Greco. Tries to cross over right, pass to Apke. Has Dunlap back outside to Lavery. Dribbles left with Krusling guarding. Hands it off to Del Greco. Three-pointer. That time off the mark. Air ball out of bounds.
And she hit a couple in a row earlier in the half, and then they stopped feeding her. She stopped shooting, and looks like she at least went cold for that one. But whenever you have a hot shooter, you just need to keep feeding her. WJ kind of went away from her as they were getting a little bit of momentum on offense.
Apke checks out for Becca Belhigh. Now Dunlap exits for Tori Bishop. Olivia Huber dribbles left. Now it's Moss back to Hubert on the right side. Floater won't go. Rebound Corey, kicks it out. Moss from the right corner, nothing but net. Moss up to 29.
And Thomas More up near 60% shooting from the field. I mean, Jay not having a bad day shooting the basketball. They're around 40%, but Thomas More at 60%, plus with more opportunities as a result of the turnovers, so more shot opportunities.
Krusling fouled from behind by Lavery.
They've really been able to up this lead in the second half. It's a 23-point game at halftime. Now the lead's 28. Thomas More in control.
Krusling first free throw. Connects. Junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and McNicholas High School. Hits both free throws, does Stephanie Krusling. And the lead swells to 30 for Thomas More. Nearing the midway point of the second half. Kara Seaman has her pass tipped about. Tori Bishop recovers. Nice pass to Cortazzo for the make off the window. Santa Maria to Huber. Back out to Krusling. Huber from the left side looks to Corey on the left side. Low blocks. Uses the high glass to regain that 30-point lead. First field goal for Corey today. Tori Bishop hands it off to Alexa Berzis. Seaman has Cortazzo on the right wing, head fake, passes it off to Becca Belhigh. Belhigh drops in that floater over Alexa Santa Maria. 78-50. Now Chelsea Apke had exited this game in favor of Becca Belhigh just for a rest, but with Chelsea Apke being the senior, or one of the seniors on this W&J roster, and Becca Belhigh is a youngster, a sophomore, with her kind of all-around play, where Chelsea Apke is just such a talented athlete, can play anywhere on the floor. Becca Belhigh is that type of player, kind of grind it out, gritty, and can do many different things well, just like Chelsea Apke, and you can certainly see Belhigh in the future filling that role. All right, Corey is fouled.
President's foul on number 44, Tori Bishop.
Tori Bishop charged for the foul. Free throw miss, a little shy on the shot by Corey. Eight and a half to go. Corey hits on the second. 79-50. Pressure continues for Thomas More. Kara Seaman works it ahead to Cortazzo. Nice dish to a streaking Alexa Berzis. Berzis first field goal of the second half. Open from the right wing, Krusling. Finds Kelly McDonald, a 5'5" freshman. Santa Maria juggles a pass on the baseline right corner area, but hangs on. Touch passing, Santa Maria. Shot blocked by Becca Belhigh, but unable to keep her feet in bounds. Trying to save it, just throws it out of bounds. So that's part of what we were just talking about with Becca Belhigh, that all-around gritty, tough play, and very similar in styles to Chelsea Apke from that fashion.
Yeah, able to get the block and have the wherewithal of knowing where she was on the court, trying to keep her feet in, just couldn't quite keep the basketball in bounds though. But even though unable to save that, definitely a bright future for her, not just, well, I guess there's still a lot of this year to go, but definitely in her college career. There's a make right there, picking up a basket and a foul. Becca Belhigh, just a mid-range jumper, getting it to go.
Belhigh with 8.
You might be able to see a little bit more of her talent without Apke and Dunlap on the floor. She can play a little more down low in the paint. Might be a little more natural for her than a third forward or a guard wing player. I don't know what's going on back here in the back gym. I think we just had an oversized tennis ball or something, or soccer ball come in here.
One of the youngsters here at the gymnasium and playing in the alternate or older gym here in the Henry Memorial Center. 2-point jumper by McDonald, no good. Rebound tipped by Belhigh to Berzis, and Belhigh fouled from behind by Alexa Santa Maria.
Maybe it's dodgeball. Maybe they're having a dodgeball tournament back there.
There you go.
To check that out.
Well, you never know. Always plenty of things going on here at W&J, and big thank you to Scott McGinnis in setting us up.
Big thanks to you for bringing donuts today.
No problem. Do what I can. We had an assortment of, not a large assortment, but we had the honey dip donuts.
You only had 6. How big of an assortment do we need?
Well, there's only a few of us, so I figured I didn't need too big of an assortment. We had the Boston cream and the Washington cream.
That's fine. If you bring the donuts, you can bring whatever you want as long as it's a donut.
Well, that's the way I figured. If I bought them, I'll buy whatever kind I like. Shot missed by Huber. Rebound Bell High. And it's Bell High having the ball stripped away by Krusling. 79-57, under 7 to go.
Ooh.
And pass toward Krusling, but heels out of bounds. W&J, they will be at rival Waynesburg this upcoming week on the 8th. 5:30 p.m. start time for the Lady Presidents. Chelsea Apke fouled by Olivia Huber.
Waynesburg plays tonight against Geneva. 7 and 9 o'clock starts down in Waynesburg. That's a rare back-to-back situation for them, having played at Grove City yesterday. It's a little bit of a different schedule anomaly. I think one of the...
And that's because wrestling is...
Well, I think they have a wrestling tournament there today, so they're playing the games tonight. I think the game yesterday was a reschedule off of maybe a final conflict or something. Might have originally been scheduled in December. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see Waynesburg next week. We're at Westminster for Waynesburg and Westminster. It'll be our first look at the Yellow Jackets this year and the Titans this year.
It should be a fun one.
We just went up there yesterday for interviews. It was 5 degrees in New Wilmington.
A balmy 5 degrees, although it didn't matter where you were headed yesterday. If you were in this western Pennsylvania region, it was cold. 3-point try off the back of the iron by Kylie Bartels.
Going up there, obviously snow plows and everything, trucks, and I felt bad for the Amish buggy I passed because cars going past throwing snow on the horse and the buggy, and it's not like you can put snow tires on a horse and buggy, so tough sledding for them, literally, yesterday in New Wilmington.
Katie Kitchen able to maneuver under a defender and collect the bucket. 81-58 as the Saints continue to march on here against the Presidents. Katie Kitchen with 14 points. And as she entered today, long rebound off a miss by Berzis, but the carom to Stephanie Krusling. Katie Kitchen entered today. Well, there's another bucket for Katie Kitchen, so maybe, we'll have to see. She might be able to make a little personal history here today. Katie Kitchen entered today with 978 career points. She needed 22 to become the 15th Saint to reach 1,000 points. She is at 16, but has only 5 more minutes to do it. We would love for her to do it here on the PAC Sports Network.
Yeah, we've had those before, 1,000-point scores. If she doesn't get it here today, there's a good chance she'll get it at home. Next 2 games are at home against Geneva and Teal.
3-pointer, Krusling off the mark. And getting to it off the backboard, Mariah Corey. Swinging around to Kitchen for 3 from the left side. No good. Rebound, fight for it. Burgoyne able to kind of roll it along the floor to Krusling. Extended offensive possession for Thomas More, leading 83-60, 4.5 to play. Burgoyne inside, tipped by Bell High, steal by Apke. Apke trying to go coast to coast, loses handle, off her foot and out of bounds.
Well, one thing about today, too, or one thing about the conference is that everyone does play each team twice, so W&J will get another crack at Thomas More. They'll have to go to Kentucky to do it, but they can definitely take some things out of this game that they did well, and obviously some things that they didn't do as well, and put together a game plan for meeting the Saints again. There's some bright spots, some very big areas to exploit against the Saints based on the personnel that W&J has today. They had a little bit of success early on, and I might try and focus on that when devising another game plan to face the Saints whenever that comes up again later in the season.
Jenny Burgoyne with another bucket. She has 17, 85-60.
And who knows? I mean, these teams could meet in the conference tournament. They played each other 3 times last year, and could be a good opportunity for that again this year.
Pass ahead to Burgoyne. Wayne Scott right back to Burgoyne. Who wants the points? And Wayne Scott to Burgoyne. Now Burgoyne with 19.
We call that a quiet 19 too. That just kind of snuck up. Jenny Burgoyne just reliable, consistent, and has a big day here. Maybe overshadowed a little bit by the day that Sydney Moss had, but she's definitely an offensive threat for the Saints and doing good work.
Bell high. And we'll get one up over Burgoyne that time.
Number 24, Alexa Del Greco, basket by number 5.
3 minutes to go. And a timeout called for Thomas More. We'll take a quick break as well. We'll be back on the PAC Sports Network.
3 generations, Sharps Furniture has been proud to serve Southwestern PA with their brand of personal service. Being an authorized dealer for Lazy Boy, they are dedicated to providing the finest quality products made here in the US of A. Looking for custom upholstery? Sharps carries a large selection of upholstery to choose from, all made in America. And their friendly staff will deliver right to your front door. Sharps Furniture, your authorized Lazy Boy dealer. Family owned, family operated since 1917. Located just off I-70, exit 19B in Washington, PA.
Timeout by Thomas More was for substitution purposes. Is a 3-point effort by Emily Pluto, no good, but another 3-pointer by Bartels off the mark. Alexa Santamaria from the right quarter, under 2.5 to play. And the last of the regulars in the game for Thomas More. Santamaria fouled on the way through on the right side of the lane. Coach Jeff Hands has described this team as the deepest he has had at Thomas More. He's in his 3rd year with the Saints as their head coach. As we talked about earlier, one of his big challenges is not allowing the hype to get to his players, and works them hard every day to continue to improve. I mean, sure, the scores throughout the start of this season have been heavily one-sided, but have to continue to work and know that you can only go one game at a time. Coach speak. But there is a certain rationale to that. I mean, you just you have to keep your team focused. I guess the thing about it is it's not just speak when it comes to Coach Hands. I mean, he believes in that and will not let this team get ahead of themselves. Working hard each and every time out. Alexa Santamaria fouled by Aaron Lavery.
And he does a great job of having them focused for every single game. You don't see a whole lot of flat games out of Thomas More in terms of not being able to be on right out of the gate.
Santamaria free throw, thinks about it, then falls in. 88-62. And swishes through the second. W&J with some of their reserves entering. Lavery pass left to Cortazzo. Jumper no good. Rebound Saints. Hannah Devine. And off a return pass from Pluto. Devine for 3, no good. Pluto tries to save it, but cannot. 1:39 to play. Lavery sends the ball in to Jamie Tedesco. Tedesco back to Lavery. Spins around one defender. Will angle it to the left. Tedesco drives right side, no good, off the glass. Rebound Devine. Devine, the freshman, to the right wing with Micah Hignite. Back up top to Bartels. Now it's Santa Maria. Slices through the lane, is fouled. No bucket, but draws the foul with 1:07 to play. Well, as Justin Piles mentioned, next week we are at Westminster. The Waynesburg Yellow Jackets visiting the Westminster Titans for a doubleheader, men's and women's action.
Team A at the line, number 31, Alexa Santa Maria.
Santa Maria drops in this free throw. If you're curious as to our PAC broadcast schedule in future weeks, you can find it on our PAC website, pacstream.net. Glad you can be with us today on the network. I'm Randy Gore along with my partner Justin Piles, Cat Guy, and our producer, and Nick Farrell, our camera person today. Baseline Cortazzo, no good on the first try, gets her own rebound. Out to Lavery. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. Also, if you're ever interested in acquiring your own DVD copy of one of our games, you can email us at info@pacstream.net. Or if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to email us as well. Lay in by Micah Hignite makes it 93-62. Down to the final 30 seconds. Jump shot no good by Andrea Crothel. Shot clock is off. Saints have possession, and they'll likely have it for the final seconds. Thomas More will improve to 11-0 overall and 4-0 in conference play. The W&J Presidents will fall to 7-4 and 2-2 in the conference. Three-pointer by Pluto makes it 96-62 with 7 seconds to go. And that'll do it. The Thomas More Saints sweep the doubleheader today in men's action and now in women's as well. Your final 96-62 over the W&J Presidents. Stay tuned. We'll hand out our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game when we come back on the PAC Sports Network.
When you are in need of fast, affordable, and professional voiceovers, contact TimeAd Productions. TimeAd Productions offers voice services for business presentations, documentary narrations, radio, television, imaging, and commercials, movie trailers, corporate phone systems, websites, audiobooks, and more. Visit or contact us online at www.timeadproductions.com.
Disability affects the lives of over 29,000 people in Fayette, Washington, and Greene counties. Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living are people with and without disabilities working to meet those needs in the community. The success of Triple comes from the commitment of a dedicated board of directors, its members, and volunteers. To continue to improve services, Triple is renovating the historical YWCA building located at 42 West Maiden Street in Washington. This will allow for an assistive internet cafe, increased veteran services, and transportation and wellness to provide skills to help with independent living. Your help and feedback are appreciated, and if you seek assistance, we're here to help.
Thomas More runs away with a 96-62 win over the W&J Presidents in women's action today. Touch on some individual totals. Katie Kitchen with 16 points, so she will not reach 1,000 this afternoon, so she'll have to wait another day. But Kitchen in double digits, Sydney Wainscott with 11, Jenny Burgoyne 19, and Sydney Moss with a game-high 29 points. For the W&J Presidents, Becca Belhigh with 11, majority of those points coming in the second half. Alexa Del Greco with 14. She hit 4 three-pointers today, and Val Dunlap with 10. Quiet day for Chelsea Apke, only 5 points, as she is one of those top all-around players for W&J, but she was kept quiet this afternoon. And again, it was pretty much Thomas More from wire to wire today, and the lead just it only grew as we moved along. So the Saints are now 11-0 overall, the 6th-ranked team in the nation, and 4-0 in the conference. Again, W&J at 7-4 and 2-2 in conference play. Our Foster Law Office's Player of the Game didn't take long for us to decide on this one. It is Sydney Moss.
Yeah, Sydney Moss, fantastic game, very impressive. with her. It was the second time we got to see her live, and she had 23 in the first half, 29 total for the game, but she could have very easily been in the 40s with the way that she was playing in the first half. That wasn't really much of a factor, didn't need to be a factor in the second half, and spent most of that half on the bench. But man, what a talent. She's just incredible, being able to shoot the three and drive to the basket. Some of the passes she made were unbelievable, and she's just a great talent. It's great to watch her, and congratulations to her and the Saints for another fantastic performance, and full steam ahead still for Thomas More.
Not much more you can say. Just very impressive, very workmanlike, and they continue to get it done. The Thomas More Saints with the 96-62 win. So that just about does it here from W&J. Again, for my broadcast partner Justin Piles, our producer Kat Guine, and our cameraman Nick Farrell, I'm Randy Gore. The Saints with a 96-62 win. We'll talk to you next week from Westminster as the Titans host the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets on the PAC Sports Network.